Hi everybody, it's your girl Blackgirlmarvel. Welcome back to day 8 of my 31 days of reviews featuring Wall Street, the 1987 Wall Street. Meaning this is gonna be spoiled, baby, because this was created before I was even born. So I mean, not before I was born, after I was born actually. I wasn't even one when this movie came out. So yeah, my phone. What's this on my phone? Anywho, Wall Street stars Michael Douglas, Charlie Sheen, and directed by Oliver Stone. Now, as a person who, I don't think this film was made for me. It didn't come out in my era. Essentially, it was okay. It was an okay film. For it being 2 hours, I don't think it should have been 2 hours because there were a lot of scenes that to me were showing the same thing but just different. Case in point, this film is pretty much a film about avarice and greed and consumption and things like that, and kind of losing yourself to become somebody else because you see how successful they are, that you kind of want to follow in their footsteps, but you realize that they dirty and you need to be you, and work within the set that you can work in, and don't hurt people. So Charlie Sheen plays Bud Fox, where Michael Douglas plays Gordon Gekko. And Gordon Gekko is a stockbroker, I believe. And he is really good at his job. But he's good at his job because of insider trading. He's made millions upon millions. And Charlie Sheen's Bud Fox, that's his mentor. He wants to be just like him. And he gets his job. He gets his wish because he's super persistent. 59 days in a row, he called Gekko's office. Finally, he picked up these Cuban cigars. They was illegal at the time, but he picked them up, brought them to Gordon, began as his protege. He was really, really good at it. He was really, really good at following people and getting inside information on when somebody's stock was on a drop or rise, or when they should sell and when they should get out, all that type of stuff. After a while, you can see that Bud is really trying to, like, let's okay, I'm gonna do my little dirt on the side, but like, I don't want it to affect anybody. It ends up affecting his father, who was a blue collar working man. And when it affected his father, it affected him, and he had to change everything. So he turned state witness. Not before he gets caught, though. He gets caught by the cops after he pretty much sets Gekko up to lose a whole bunch of money so that his father and the union could pretty much get back their company, essentially. But he gets caught, and it's one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie is Charlie Sheen's Bud Fox walking out crying. Like, I don't know why it made me laugh, because it was just like, it was such an honest moment, I feel like, and I wouldn't expect that in a movie, like, really. The honest reaction of, like, this person crying as they're walking out. But I was pleasantly surprised, but I still laughed at it. I don't think it was supposed to be a comedy, but I still laughed at it. I'm still laughing. So, to lessen his sentence, Bud turned state evidence to get Gordon to admit that, he told him to do all these things, that he was a mastermind behind all these things to get him locked up as well. That's pretty much the movie, y'all. But for me, it was just too many scenes where, it showed Bud and Gordon and, and the girl that he was with, just all the avarice, and like, we, go-karts on the sand and eating at fancy places and doing all this kind of stuff. I was like, a couple of those scenes could have been caught, because we get it, he's out here living his life, we get it, he's out here consuming and pretty much like playing with the devil in a sense. Like, we could see all these things, but we didn't have to see that much to understand what Bud was doing, what he was going through. So for a while I was bored there. I was like, get to the meat of this story, because for me, what drives the story is the characters. What drives the story is like the plot. And for me, this plot was already kind of meh, because I don't know nothing about Wall Street. I don't know nothing about the stock exchange. They were saying stuff like 10 and 6/8 when it gets to 15 and 1/11. I don't know none of that stuff. But I mean, I understood the context. I understood that, like, when somebody would fail, or when it was good for them and stuff like that. But that's all in context. I had no real connection to all this stuff, so that already kind of took me out of it. So I was looking for the connection with the characters, and Michael Douglas is great in this film. I understand why this is one of his, like, like one of the films from his filmography that people pull from, because he did an amazing job in this. He played that swarmy kind of, millionaire that won't let anything gets in his way. And if only these people use their powers for good, man, and I mean that in the real world, life would be so much better for everybody. But if life was good for everybody, nobody would be on top, because everybody would be. So, and certain people love to be on top. But I digress. All in all, this film was okay. Like I said, I feel like it was probably made in like 85, 86, released in 87. And I feel like this film was perfect for the times, right? But as a person who, I'm 37, I was born in 86, I'm in 2024 now. This didn't really, I've seen worse than this. I've seen more compelling things than this. So this didn't really do anything for me. But I can see how for its time it was amazing. I will say, Oliver Stone, I'm gonna have to check out a few more of your films, up until 2015, because you're on the wrong side of history. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go research that. But I'm gonna have to watch a couple more of his films, because for a 1987 film, it has some dynamic shots, some dynamic like editing and lighting. I was very, very surprised with how slightly experimental this film felt, in the sense of its direction and angles and stuff like that. So I was very interested in that, so it kind of made me want to go see other Oliver Stone films, like I said, up to 2015. But y'all go ahead, check. If I had to rate this film, I'll probably never watch this film again in my entire life, unless somebody I know wants to watch it, and I'll be present, but I'll probably fall asleep. But I would give this film a 6 out of 10. Like I said, I understand what they were doing. I did. But again, to me, this is a film that didn't really age well. To have like what am I trying to say? It doesn't translate across time. I'll say that. It doesn't translate across time. At least for me, there are some films that for me just stand the test of time. They can transcend like watching it when it first came out to watching it 20, 30, 50 years from now. And then to me, this film didn't do that. This, like I said before, this film is very much a film of its time. When it came out of its time, I can understand why it blew up, why people went crazy. But for me, didn't do it for me. But this was my review of Wall Street, 1987. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you thought about this film, if you already seen it. And if you are of the era in which this film came out. Because a friend of mine, I think he said he was about 17 or 18 or something like that when he saw this film. How old were you when you saw Wall Street for the first time? I was 37. And it's a no for me, dog. Don't forget to follow me on all social media.